The worldwide international headquarters of OSM and STV are located just north of Canada's largest city, Toronto, in a little town called Willow Beach on the shores of Lake Simcoe. Now, last season, the STV crew went to a destination that's practically in our backyard, Simcoe County. Simcoe County is located just to the north of Toronto, which makes Highway 400 the perfect artery to travel to and from this region, in and out of the GTA for a day out on the sleds. This area is relatively populated compared to riding in some of the more traditional riding areas of Ontario. Here, you're not going to find long, lonely stretches of trail between towns or trails conducive to 300-kilometer days. Instead, you will find a trail system that delivers what sledders want, with twists and turns and elevation changes, but just in short durations between the many towns and villages of the region. High mile days are great, and one of the things that appeals to me as a sledder. I mean, those remote trails that have sometimes hours between stops, but let's face it, that's not for everyone. In a region like Simcoe County, as a rider, you're never really that far from your next destination, and depending on your goals for the day or the group you're riding with, being close to services for food and fuel or even a bathroom break can be more important than putting hundreds of kilometers onto your sled's odometer. The STV crew ride experience here took place over 3 days. Even though they could have all traveled to and from home each day, they did opt to stay in Collingwood on night one to get an earlier start on the next day's ride, but to also sample some of the suds at Northwind's Brewhouse, where most of the beer is brewed in-house. Go figure. The next day, the fellas headed out on Trail 703 through Stayner, and then on to Trails B111 and B211, bringing the crew to the picturesque town of Creemore on the Niagara Escarpment. Filled with quaint shops and a range of eating experiences from casual to fine dining, Creemore has become a destination for locals and tourists visiting Simcoe throughout the year. After a hearty meal at the Old Millhouse restaurant, the guys got back on their sleds for the ride back to Collingwood for an early evening out to enjoy the tastes and treats and maybe an adult beverage at the Black Bellows, which is in a former blacksmith's workshop. We about to make it happen. So hot, we burn it up. We just can't get enough. Get down now, have some fun, 'cause we about to make it. We about to make it happen. On day 3 of the trip, which is the second day on the sleds, the guys turned their skis east towards Horseshoe Valley on Trail 421, which is one of the best trails in the region. Nicely forested with fast, flowing trails, the ride continued for the day exploring the many trails of Simcoe County before the inevitable return to the truck and trailer for the drive home, and it was nice knowing that they didn't have an 8-hour haul ahead of them after a very full weekend of riding.